Good morning, Burley Glenwood boys and girls. This is Perimeter Lesson 13.2, and I am going to share my screen so that you can work along with me. So you want to have your digital Common Core up so that you can work it while I'm working it for you guys. Whoopsie, screen share. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So on our digital Common Core today, number 1, it says the Johnson's backyard is shaped like a parallelogram. You'll notice that opposite sides are equal. If both of these sides are 80, and both of these sides are 50. On a problem like this, we want to stack it and add it, so don't be lazy. So stack your 50, stack your, whoopsie, hate it when it does that. Stack your 80, your 50, and your 80. Now I am not going to add those for you. You can add them yourself. If you want to do friends of 10 and then do 8 plus 8 is 16 and then add that together, you sure can. There should be one that is clearly a no way Jose that you can get rid of on this particular one. Okay, number 2, which number sentence makes the sentence below true? So we have 5/8 is greater than, you need to pick a number that will make it true. So you have to decide, is 5/8 greater than 1/8? Is 5/8 greater than 5/8? Is 5/8 greater than 7/8? Or is 5/8 greater than 9/8? And drag your circle over to show the correct answer. Number 3, which of the following is a polygon that always has exactly 4 sides of equal length? So all 4 sides are the same length. Is that a parallelogram? Is that an equilateral triangle? Is that a rectangle? Or is that a square? I'm hoping you went, oh, they said 4 sides. So I know I can get rid of equilateral triangle. It cannot be that one. So now you have 3 to choose from. I hope you drag the circle to the correct answer. Number 4, what is the next number in the pattern below? 17, 26, 35, and 44. So you're clearly seeing that these are getting larger. So we need to make sure we pick a number that is larger than 44. Well, all of these are larger than 44. I'm going to see if there's some other pattern that I notice. I'm going to look at my tens place. 1, 2, 3, 4. Think I'm seeing a pattern. Now I'm going to look at my ones place. 7, 6, 5, 4. I think there's a pattern. So if both of those patterns continue, you are deciding, is your answer 55, 54, 53, or 52? If you want to pause the video and rewind it a few seconds and listen to those patterns again, that might help you solve that problem. Number 5, bamboo is one of the fastest growing plants. Some tropical bamboos may grow about 1 meter a day. About how many meters could tropical bamboo grow in 3 days? So every day it grows 1 meter. You are thinking, if that happens for 3 days, how tall would it be? You have to decide, would it be 6, 3, 5, or 1? Okay, now on number 6, it didn't give you much room. Write a fact family for 7 and 49. You're going to have 2 equations. On your digital version of the Daily Common Core, I gave you a little division sign that you can copy and paste and use in one of your equations. then you have to type out some words to explain why there are only 2 facts in the family. Why are you only making 2 equations for that particular fact family? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you need more time, pause the video. The rest of us are going to go on over and watch the Pearson video. If you have Miss Hattlestat, she may have already played the video or assigned it.
How can you find the perimeter of common shapes? Think about this question during the lesson. Mr. Coe needs to find the perimeter of 2 swimming pool designs. Look at the pictures of the pools. How are the shapes different from each other? One pool shape is a rectangle and not a square. It has 2 sides labeled with their length. The other pool shape is a square. It has 1 side labeled with its length. What is the perimeter of each pool? How do you think the pictures can help you find the perimeter? You can use the lengths given to find the missing lengths. Let's find the perimeter of the pool that has a rectangle shape. Where did the new lengths on the rectangle come from?
Okay, what they want you to remember is that with a rectangle, opposite sides are equal and parallel. So 6 and 6, they are opposite, they are equal, and they are parallel. 10 and 10, they are equal and they are parallel because they are opposites.
The shape is a rectangle, so you know that the opposite sides are the same lengths as the lengths given. Remember, opposite sides of a rectangle are the same lengths. What is the next step after you find the lengths of the sides? The next step is to add the lengths. What is the perimeter of the rectangular pool?
Okay, so 10 plus 10 is, hopefully you're thinking 20. 6 plus 6 is 12. 20 plus 12 is, let's see if you're right.
The perimeter of this swimming pool is 32 meters. Now let's find the perimeter of the pool that has a square shape. Why are the lengths of all the sides of the second pool the same?
Okay, hopefully you're remembering. A square is a special quadrilateral. It has to have all sides the same length.
The shape of this pool is a square. Do you need the length of more than one side of a square in order to find the perimeter? Why or why not? No. Since all sides of a square are the same length, you need the length of only one side. Remember, all 4 sides of a square are the same length. Add the lengths of the 4 sides.
Okay, you can either do repeated addition or you can simply do 9 times 4 because that is a more efficient way to do that one.
The perimeter of this swimming pool is 36 meters. You can find the perimeter of common shapes by adding the lengths of the sides. Opposite sides of a rectangle are the same lengths. All 4 sides of a square are the same length.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is our interactive learning. So if you were looking on your calendar for today and you were wondering what that is, that's what this is. So they have given us a triangle, and this is a special kind of triangle. It is called an equilateral triangle, and they have given us a rectangle. I want you to, once I finish reading it, I want you to pause the video and try to solve it. And then once you think you have it solved, then push play on the video again. Solve using any method you choose. What is the perimeter of each shape? Explain how you found the perimeter of each shape. So please pause the video. Then once you have the answer figured out, come on back and we'll see if your answer matches the work that I'm about to do. Oh, don't do that. So 3 plus 5 is 8. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. And I need to remember to label that inches. Now I'm going to change my pen color for this other guy. So I know each of these sides is 3 inches because it is an equilateral triangle, and that means all sides are the same length. So I can either do this one as repeated addition, or I could set it up as 3 times 3 because there are 3 sides on it. On this other one, I can't just do 3 times 5 because that would be figuring out the area, not the perimeter. And I want the distance around the shape, not the space inside the shape. That's going to come with our next topic. And how did we find the perimeter? I'm going to type that because it would take too long. I added up the lengths of the sides. And my spacebar does not work very well. There we go. So hopefully you took a moment to write that on your sheet of paper. Remember, this is not just watch Mrs. Mears work. If you don't do the work, the math is not going to make sense to you when you take the math test later or when you do the digital quick check later. Okay, now in our math book, we are going to work on problem number 1 and problem number 2. Number 1, they have given us a rectangle, and we need to remember to label our sides. If you think back to that silly song, perimeter is around, perimeter is around. Oh, oh, don't you know, perimeter is around. You label all the sides, you label all the sides. Oh, oh, don't you know, you label all the sides. You add up all the sides, you add up all the sides. Oh, oh, don't you know, you add up all the sides. So now I can stack them. I'm going to switch to the type it because that's faster and neater. So I have for number 1, I'm going to do a number 1. Enter, space, space, space. I have 4. Enter, space, space, space. 8. Enter, space, space, space. 4. Enter, space. Plus 8. Ooh, yay, it lined up nicely. Okay, now I'm going to add my little line underneath. Hit the wrong thing. Control Z is magical. Oh, did it again. I'm just batting 1,000. Control underline this time. Yay, did it. Okay, now I need to think, well, what's that going to add up to? Well, 4 plus 8 is, hopefully you're thinking 12. Oh, I have another 4 plus 8. Well, if this guy was 12, then this guy is 12. 12 plus 12 is 24. 4, and I need to label it feet, so FT. And I need to label it feet, so FT. And I don't need that underline, so I'm going to underline it because I don't like that. There we go. So hopefully you wrote it nice and neat on your paper. Remember, it's not just watch Mrs. Mears work. You need to do the work too. So that was number 1. Now I've got a magic trick I can do. I can do copy paste and then just change my numbers. But you don't have that magic trick. You can't just do copy paste. Okay, I'm gonna peek at my phone. Oh, that's Miss Huddlestat. So I will message her and let her know that I will work with her in about a half hour. I'm helping her get her digital stuff set up. I can help you in about a half hour. Okay, so if you've been having problems with technology, well, us teachers, we've been like, oh, so we totally understand your problems. Okay, remember, a square is a special quadrilateral, and say it with me, all sides the same length. So it said 5 centimeters. I need to change all these numbers over here to 5s. So if I'm changing them to 5s, you are changing them to 5s. And some of you might be like wigging out because you're like, you need to change your number 1 to a number 2. You are correct, I do. So let's make that a number 2. Now let's count by 5s. 5. Hopefully you just counted to 20. And our unit's not correct. We can't leave it as feet. We need to change it so that it says centimeters. So please change that. Alrighty, so that was number 2. Hopefully you wrote it nice and neat on your paper. Number 3, how can you use multiplication and addition to find the perimeter of the rectangle above? So on this one, we can see that they used addition, but there's kind of a neat trick where we can multiply. So I am going to show you that. I'm going to type it because that's going to be way neater. So I'm going to start by writing it out the way they wrote it. They have 10 plus 6. Oopsie, that's an equal sign. I hate it when I do that. I forgot to hit shift. There we go. 10 plus 6 plus 10 plus 6 equals, and that was 2032. Now I'm going to hit enter. You notice I have 2 10s and I have 2 6s. I can do 2 times 10 plus 6. Ah, I forgot the 6. There we go. So that is how we could use multiplication to solve that. 10 plus 6 is 16. If I double that, that's what this times 2 means, I still get 32. So that is how I can use both addition and multiplication to solve that. I'm going to space those out so you can see them a little better. So I don't like how they're so close. Alrighty, in exercises, now we're on, oh, I should have put a number 3 on that. Go back and fix that. So 3, 0, I like my work nice and neat, and I know Mrs. Huddlestat likes her work nice and neat, so make sure that you're not just making a bleh on your paper. Okay, in exercises 1 and 2, explain how to find the missing links. So how did we know to put a 4 there? And how did we know to put an 8 there? So that's that opposite side. So we could look up, did they have it in the little thingy? Oh, there we go. I'm going to highlight it so it pops out at you. So remember, opposite sides of a rectangle are the same length. So that's what we're going to come type down here. And I already got the O. Hello. There we go. Does it have an E? Yes. Opposite sides of a rectangle. Yeah, I spelled it right. Are the same length. And I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so that it's easy for all of our eyeballs to see. So let's see. Let's go with 22. Oh, that's nice and big. Now we need to talk about the square. So let's go use a different color. Let's use pink. I like pink. So here for the square, they gave us a hint. All four sides of a square are the same length. So we need to type that also. Oh, I should have numbered this. Hello. There we go. So number 4, space. And hopefully you're looking up at the pink spot because that's what we're going to type now. We're going to type the pink stuff. So all 4 sides of a square, and I will slide it so you can see it better when I'm done typing, are the same length. Okay, so let's grab that and bring it up so that you can see it. Oh, bummer, it goes off the page if I do that. So if you need to pause the video and finish getting that written down, please do so now. Now I have a wonderful tool on my Smartboard software that I'm going to use on this one. It says Darla drew an equilateral triangle. Each side was 9 inches long. So I'm going to come down here. I am going to find my equilateral triangle. Where is he hiding? This one's sort of like him. I may just have to be really careful as I draw him. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Alrighty, that looks pretty good. May not be perfect, but it's close enough. Probably better than I could draw by hand. And I want to label it. It says each side is 9 inches long. So I need to write a 9 on each side. So 9 inches. Don't do that. That drives me nuts. There we go. Now I'm going to use another trick. Oopsie, not that trick. Control group, Control C, Control V. There we go. I'm going to grab them and bring them over. Control V. Okay. So now that I have, and make sure you draw your shape too. Just draw it the best you can. You don't have templates at home, so I'm not expecting a perfect triangle. But draw a nice triangle, label all the sides 9 inches, and now we're going to write our equation. So I'm going to type that one just because it's neater. So 9 in plus 9 in plus 9 in equals, oops, let's put a space there. And let's make it bigger because that's so little that would make my eyeballs hurt. Let's go to 22. That'd be a nice size. Okay. You can either grab 9, add 9, grab 9, add 9, or you can do 9 times 3. And all of us at this point in 3rd grade should have 9 times 3 memorized and know that that's 27. So please make sure that you have labeled it 27 inches. If you need to pause the video, oh, I forgot to label that one number 5. So make sure that you on your paper have labeled it number 5, because then it's easy to know what went with what. That way, if Mrs. Mears or Mrs. Hattlestat says, take a picture of your paper and post it in Google Classroom, you'll be able to do that and not just be like, oh, I only watched it. Okay, now I don't expect you to have a ruler at home. If your mom sews or if your dad does woodworking, or maybe your neighbor has a ruler, you're welcome to dig in the drawer, find the ruler. But if you don't have one, that's okay. If you're like, oh, I know where my mom keeps it, pause the video and go grab it and come on back. I have one across the room from me, but I'm not gonna go move and get it. It's kind of a neat one. Maybe I'll show it to you tomorrow. But I have a ruler built into the Smartboard software. And so one thing we want to keep in mind, what's special about a square? All four sides are the same length. So if I measure the top and I find out that it is how long, ladies and gentlemen? Remember from Monday's lesson, here's my 0. You know, it's kind of cool if I go like this, and then I go like that. Oh, I didn't measure it quite right. Darn. It's close. Let's see if I can try that again. Oh, that's why. Oh, well, is that just spiffy or what? Okay, so let's go to there. And let's go to there. And hopefully I lined it up just right. Let's try it again. Ta-da! Yay, I did it right. Ha! Is that just too slick or what? So I've labeled that side 1 inch. I'm gonna label this side 1 inch. I'm gonna label that side 1 inch. And a square has how many sides? 4. Gotta label that other guy too. I'm gonna label this guy 1 inch. So now that I have labeled all of my sides, I can find the perimeter. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for number 6, there we go. That one is 4 inches. Technology is grand when it works the way you want. So let's make that one bigger because that's kind of small. Oh, nice and big. Okay, so number 7, we have a rectangle, and this one we get to do the whoop-de-whoop-de swing thing. Alrighty. Yeah, and it's supposed to be that far. I'm not going to go as long as, oh, it's hiding. Bummer. Okay, well, let's go like this. Doink. Oh, I didn't make it quite long enough. Make it just a smidge bigger. Doink. Nope, didn't make it big enough. It's supposed to be 2. Doink. Okay, it's not spitting out what I want. So we're just gonna, we're gonna write down that it's 2 inches long because we're supposed to look at that and go, oh, look, it's 2 inches long. So I grab this guy and we will just change it. So this top is 2. Now remember, on a rectangle, opposite sides are equal and parallel. So if my top is 2, then my bottom is 2. Okay, now we're gonna, well, hello, get out of the way. We'll move that guy out of the way too. Now we're gonna rotate the ruler. Okay, that was slick. And we notice that it is almost exactly 1 inch. So, oh, it did come up with a 2. Little booger. We'll just change it and put a 1 on it now. I didn't see that it spit that one out there. And let's label this guy. Okay, so let's count by 2s first. 2, 4. Okay, hopefully you just came up with 6 on that one. So let's change our number. That was number 7. And we had 2, 4, 5, 6 inches on that one. There we go. So please make sure that you have a number 6 and number 7 done. So if you're in a family where they're like, oh, we want to stick to that half hour of math, this is a good spot to pause the video and then finish it tomorrow. For those of you whose families are like, no, I want you working more, then you are welcome to continue working with me. If you are pausing the video, maybe take note of how many minutes into the video you are so that you can go right to that spot and you don't have to play forward, backward, forward, backward. Okay, number 8 and 9, we need to find the perimeter of each polygon. This side is 3, this side is 15. I'm going to model that other method that they wanted us to learn how to do. So for number 8, I'm going to add these two sides together. So I've got the 3 plus 15. Now here's 3, here's 15. You'll notice there's two sets of them. There's two sets of 3s and two sets of 15s. So I can take that and I can then add them. And I can multiply it by 2 because there's two pairs of those. So 3 plus 15 is 18. And 18 times 2, that might be a little tricky, but 2 times 8 is 16. And then I got to keep track of that extra 1. Double that, double 10, I have 20, plus I have that 1 more that I was carrying, and that is 36. Okay, so that is another way that we could find the perimeter of that polygon. If you're like, Mrs. Mears, you just made my head explode, then it's okay to do it this other way. So I'll show you the other way you could have done it. You could have done 15, 3, 15, 3, and then add it. So 5 and 3 is 8. 5 and 3 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. Put down my 6. Carry my 1. 1, 2, 3. Both methods get us 36. They both work. It's just which method makes more sense to your brain. Okay, here we have an equilateral triangle. Remember, equilateral means all sides are equal. The word lateral is a fancy word for side. So here we're going to label this guy 4. Well, I would if my pen worked. 4 yards. I try to do a cursive D, then I don't have to lift my mouse up. Oh, there we go. And labeled this guy 4 yards. Do it in cursive, then I don't have to lift my mouse. Oh, that looked pretty good. Now I'm going to model both methods. I'm going to type it. That way it's nice and neat. So number 9. Where'd my mouse go? Let's try that again. No. Number 9. There we go. Now it's happy. Oopsie, that was supposed to be one of those. So I can have 4 plus 4 plus 4 because there are 3 sides on that triangle. And then I can add them. Pardon me, my nose itches. My other method is I have 3 sides and each of them is 4. They will both get me the same answer of 12 yards. And I'm going to put a D on the end, or an S on the end of that. So it's okay if you don't write both. You do need to write one of them, though. They are both valid strategies for finding the perimeter of an equilateral triangle. Okay, problem solving. Cora, hi Cora, uses ribbons to make 3 different size bows. How much more ribbon does it take to make 2 large bows than 2 small bows? I see those magical words of how much more. That lets me know I'm going to have some subtraction going on here. But I am doing 2 large bows and I am doing 2 small bows. So I need to pay attention to the small. There's my small. And then large I did in pink. So I need to pay attention to the large. Oh, yay, it straightened it out. Do I need to worry about medium? No, they are not asking me about medium, so I do not need to worry about medium. So I am making 2 large bows. So I need 2 times 49. So 2 times 49. I'm going to put that in brackets and you'll find out here in just a minute. And I think we call those parentheses. And then remember it's asking how much more. That's going to be minus 2 small bows. 2 and each of those, come on, work for me. Yay, there it goes. Each of the small bows is 27. And if you're like, I can't multiply that yet, it's okay. We can use repeated addition off to the side to figure those guys out. So over here, I'm going to figure out what 2 times 49 is by just using some repeated addition. If you feel comfortable multiplying 2 times 49, you are welcome to do that. So I'm going to write these out, and while I'm writing them out, I want you to write them out. And then, I apologize for my dog Rue barking. I want you to pause the video, and I want you to figure out what those are when you add them up. I don't want you just being a cheater and copying my work. So pause the video, find what these are when you add them up, and then unpause. Okay, boys and girls, hopefully you came up with 98 and 54. I'm going to put them right underneath their respective little spots here. And that strategy is going to get you ready for algebra. You're going to do more of that in 4th grade. You're going to do more of that in 5th grade. You're going to be like algebra pros when it comes to middle school. But this helps get you ready for that. And you'll notice that I lined up my subtraction sign. So now I need to do 98 take away 54. Well, 8 take away 4 is 4. 9 take away 5 is 4. So we lucked out. We didn't have to do any regrouping on that one. And I do need to pay attention to my unit. So hopefully you notice that the unit is inches. And you need to label your answer inches. If you need to pause the video to get caught up on the work, please do that. Number 11, the base of the glass house to the right, that's over here. Somebody would have a lot of windows to wash. That would keep Mr. T busy in the summer. Okay, the base of the glass house to the right is a rectangle. What is the perimeter of the base of the glass house? So they told me it's a rectangle. Please take a moment to draw yourself a rectangle. So that was number 11. So it tells me over here that the house is 56 feet long. So I'm going to label my longer side 56. and feet. Now remember, opposite sides are equal and parallel. That means this side also has to be 56 feet long. "32 feet wide." So my shorter sides, I didn't really draw it to scale, it's looking a little skinny, is 32 feet. Now remember, opposite sides are equal and parallel. I didn't really leave myself the most amount of room, so I'm going to write it over here. Hopefully you left yourself more room on your picture. Now, these numbers are kind of big. I don't know that I want to do the parenthesis thing on this one. So I think I am going to type and stack them for this one. So 56, oopsie, hello, 56, there it goes. Enter 32, enter 56, enter 32. So I'm going to do that magic highlight everything, tell it to go to that side. Add my plus, hello, I want to add a plus sign. There we go. Underline. Scoochy, scoochy. Now I want to make it plenty big so we all can see it. So hopefully in the time, ooh, not quite like that though. Hopefully in the time that I have been writing it, you've gotten it written down and you are, oh, I didn't want everything underlined. There we go. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, so 6 plus 2 plus 6 plus 2, 8 plus 8. And hopefully you went, oh, Miss Smears, that's 16. So let's put down our 6, carry our 1, 5 plus 3, 5 plus 3. Or you could be like, oh no, I see a friends of 10. I want to do it that way. That is okay too. So you can have a friends of 10. And 3 plus 3 is 6. So now we're at 16. Don't forget this guy. That makes it 17. So the perimeter of that house, is that what we're supposed to find? Yep. What is the perimeter of the base of the glass house? We have to remember to label it feet. There we go. Alrighty, number 12. The base of a garage is 20 feet long and 15 wide. What is the perimeter of the base of the garage? Let's take a moment and we're going to draw a rectangle. It's going to be kind of close to a square, but not quite. So there we go. And I need to label that one number 12. So I'm not expecting your shape to be perfect, just nice and neat. So my longer side, I'm going to label 20. So this side's a little longer. So I'm going to label that one 20. And it's feet, because it would not make any sense to have a garage that's 20 centimeters. That would fit your shoe. Okay, and our other side is 15 feet wide. So this side is 15 feet wide. Okay, we need to remember that opposite sides are equal and parallel, and that can go bye-bye. So I'm going to copy that. Control-C, Control-V. I'm going to label my opposite sides. That helps my brain, and I don't take shortcuts that way. So you have a choice. You can either stack them and add them, or you can do the multiply thing. And I'm going to model the multiply thing so that you have exposure to both concepts. So here's a set of sides. Here's a set of sides. So I have 2 sets of sides. Each set is 10, not 10, 20 plus 15. Okay, 15 plus 20, 5 and 0 is 5. And 1 plus 2 is 3. So that's going to be the same as 2 times 35. And 2 times 5 is 10. So keep that in your head that you're going to have 10. 2 times 30. 30 plus 30 is, hopefully you just thought 60. Now we still have that 10 we have to add back on. So we end up with a total of 70. And our label or our unit is 50 feet. So make sure that you have labeled that. And I think that's our last problem, but I'm going to go look. Oh, Miss Haddlestat's ready to work with me at 5, so I'm going to say yes, because we should be done in less than 10 minutes. And oh man, there's more. Okay, let's be fast since Miss Haddlestat wants to work at that time. Okay, so we have a 6, a 6, a 2, a 6, an 8, and a 6. So I am quickly gonna stack those. 6, hello, type. 6, there it goes. Enter. 6, enter. 2, enter. 6, enter. 8, enter. 12. Now I have to make sure that my ones place is all lined up. If I don't line these up correctly, there is no way for me to come up with the right answer. So please keep that in mind as you are lining up your add-ins. You line them up wrong, you're going to get the wrong answer. Okay, I'm going to make them a little bigger so you can see them. Okay, 6, 6, and 6. I can add those together and get 18. So I'm going to group those. Got that guy, and I've got that guy. That's 18. Now, these two, that's 10. Ooh, look, 18, and that 2, that's going to get me 20. So now I've got 20 plus 10. So we've got a 30. Don't forget to carry your 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. And ooh, look, it matches. We ended up with the right answer. Good job, guys. Okay, the perimeter of the figure below is 24. So they've given us the whole shebang, but we are missing a side. So we are going to take all of these, add them up, and then subtract from 24. And I'll show you what that's going to look like. So 24. There we go. Let's move him down. Equals 8 plus 6 plus, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Let me move that guy. I'll have 6 be last. 2 plus 2 plus, I think there's 3 of them. Okay, let's make sure we have the right number of sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's still that n. We can't forget about that n. So all of that stuff has to add up to the 24. So now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what this chunk is. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 plus 6 Hello. There we go. Oops. That's what I wanted to do. I hate it when it does stuff I don't like. So we still have the 24 because our total is still 24. So we just found that all of that, I think, added up to 20 plus n. So we have to think 20 plus what is 24? Hopefully you just went, oh, it's got to be 4. 4 is going to be equal to n. So hopefully you figure that out with me. Okay, now we're going to sneak on over and do the digital quick check. So this would be a great time for you to pause the video and pull up the digital quick check. No, they logged me out. I hate that. Okay, this is going to take me a second since they were boogers and logged me out. Okay, make me happy. Please go in. And don't tell me I have to totally log in again. Come on. Okay, you get to see me be frustrated with technology. So I have to go back into Hello ID and go to Pearson. There it is. It needs think time today. Okay. 3rd grade one. I tried to be all tricky and have it all lined up and ready to go. And that did not work for me today. Hello. Where's the mouse? Okay, I'll just do the down arrow. Topic 13. And 13.2. And let's go find the digital quick check. There it is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, remember, I am going to read it to you. I am not going to give you the answers, though. So if I were you, I would have some scratch paper out because you're going to need it. So we have an equilateral triangle. I'm going to see if I can make it a little bigger because that is hard to see. Oh, I don't have my 3 little dots. Oh, guess I can't make it bigger. Okay, so an equilateral triangle, remember that means all 3 of these sides are the same length. So if this side is 11, what's that side? What's that side? You have to decide, would the grand total be 44 centimeters, 33 centimeters, 22 centimeters, or 11 centimeters? Okay, on this one, we have a rectangle. We want to know what its perimeter is. This side is 5. This side is 7. Remember, opposite sides are equal and parallel. So this side also has to match that side. This side matches that side. So if it helps you to stack them and add them, please do. If you need to hit pause, hit it now. Okay, on this one, there's a lot of sides. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 add-ins. Stack them up on your paper and add them. Do not just guess. Alrighty, now we have a word problem. Kevin's yard is a square. Draw a square. He needs to build a fence around it. Each side of the square is 17 feet long. Label all your sides. How many feet of fencing does Kevin need? You can either stack your 17s or you can do 4 times 17 if you feel comfortable with that. And pause the video now if you need to. Alrighty, Mrs. Nunley is building a table. The top of the table is a rectangle. Draw yourself a rectangle. 4 feet long, 2 feet wide. What is the perimeter of the top of the table? Make sure that you label opposite sides equal and parallel. Otherwise, you may come up with the wrong answer. So this one, your numbers are small enough that you can add your opposite sides and then add your opposite sides. And remember, your goal is to get a better score than what I'm about to show you. So since I did not give you any freebies, I got a big fat 0. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember your work for lesson 13.2 is due Thursday night. So do not procrastinate. So I hope that you have had a wonderful day, and I am going to end the meeting. I'll end the video, and we will talk to you later.